Hi, and welcome to Digital Tech Reviews and Tips. Guys, today I'm just doing a quick video helping you get through the setup process on your new Mission 1 or Mission 1 Pro camera. As you can see here, I have the Mission 1 Pro, but it doesn't matter. Setup process is the same regardless. So set aside that box and accessories. All you're going to need for now is a fully charged up battery and a compatible micro SD card. More on that part of the compatibility later. But yeah, make sure you charged your battery for like an hour or two, then you should be good. And then just open up the side of your camera if the battery is not already in the camera, and you're going to want to slot it into the camera with the logo facing the front. That's just the way to remember it. Slides in easily. It doesn't really click into place. It just kind of is in. You'll feel it. You can't push it in anymore. And then you're going to take your micro SD card and slide it in with the pins facing towards the front of the camera as well. And then using a fingernail, just kind of push it down until you feel it click into place. And yeah, then you're good to go. It's super easy. Once you got them in, close the latch, close the door up, and then you're going to want to power on your camera by just pressing the power button. It's a nice clicky power button on this new Mission series of cameras. And you can see there, after a brief little power on animation, we now get the basic kind of like setup that you do on the camera, choosing your language, agreeing to some legal agreement you'll never read and is probably signing your whole life away, choosing whether you want GPS on or off. I personally like this on because those GPS overlays are cool. And then choosing if you want voice control on or off. I personally chose off, but with all these settings, you can change them later, so don't worry about it. Now, finally, we get the part that I was hinting at earlier, and that is the SD card compatibility. Let's just say I chose this intentionally to put in a card that was too slow, but yeah, basically you need a card that is at least A2 or V30 on it. Apparently the Insta360 card that I popped in originally was not up to snuff, so I got this SanDisk card here, luckily, that is an A2 card and is undoubtedly more expensive than when I originally bought it like 3-4 years ago or whatever, because of the storage increases in prices and whatnot. But either way, slot that expensive little piece of memory into your card, and then you should see that it's all good to go with the check mark popping up, indicating that you can now set your camera down for a little bit and pick up your smartphone, or I guess you could do it on a tablet. Basically, you need to download the GoPro Quik app, which, if you don't know, this is GoPro's everything app. It does everything. As you can see here when I pop it open, it has your media, it has your connection to your camera, it has editing, all in one app. You're gonna wanna make sure you're signed in. If you aren't a GoPro subscriber, maybe subscribe as well, but that's for a different video. Head over to the camera part, the GoPro part of your app, and then click that plus camera thing in the top right. And as you can see there, literally already has found my camera. Just Bluetooth connection, simple thing, like it scanned and saw something that had a GoPro name. And so we'll now pair it with said camera that I found, which luckily is mine. There's not any other cameras in the vicinity that are set up in pairing mode. And after a bit of thinking there and whatever handoffs that it's doing, we can see, okay, good, it's good to go with the Bluetooth. But then that leads to where we need to actually join the Wi-Fi network now, because to do the software update, you actually need a Wi-Fi connection because of how big the files are that it's going to need to pass to your camera for the software update. So boom, we now join the Wi-Fi, and then it should pop up something like this. It might not be exactly this. You can see the date on mine says May 28th. That's when that software update was released. If you buy this camera later and are watching this video a year or two down the road, it might be a different software update you're having to put to your camera, but either way, you're probably gonna have to do some software update before you start using your camera. Once again, agree to some legal thing you'll never read, and then the software update should just start. And if your phone and camera are charged up, it should just go along with no issues. It took me, I think, my camera like 4 or 5 minutes, turning on and off, beeping a bunch. Finally, it's going to come to that saying, do you want to connect again? The camera will power on one last time, and then you should be good. So click connect, and we can see the camera's already on. The smartphone is just taking a little bit to connect to the camera, and it's still connecting. If you tap on the screen, it's going to want to bring you through some like introductory walkthrough of welcome to your camera, you know, here's a tour sort of thing. But we'll save that for you to do on your own time. Finally, now it's connected to the camera for real. And this is the really important step, guys. Don't mess this up. You're going to want to name your GoPro. Now you can leave it as just the name, but this also will be the name that people see as the Wi-Fi network. So I don't want it to say GoPro in case I'm out in public and people now know there's a GoPro camera they could potentially steal, right? I'm maybe a little paranoid, but I always try to think of something punny and fun. I thought of Mission Impossible with the eyes being ones. I don't know if that's the best one, guys, but let me know down in the comments below if you thought of a more fun one for your camera. But hey, you can't overthink it. I'm just going with Mission 1 Impossible, or however you pronounce it. Final step here, it's going to ask if you want to add or set up the whole sync to the cloud thing. You can do this all later, guys, so no worry about that. It is actually a really cool feature of GoPros that is super simple, and right now it's only $50 a year I pay for it, so definitely worth the money. But either way, yeah, now you're in the app. You are going to want to enable preview, I'm guessing, because this is what most people imagine when they imagine like an app to camera connection. So once again, you have to join the Bluetooth, or you have to join the Wi-Fi. That is, with the previous version, like if you're just set up connected with Bluetooth, all you can do is just stop recording and change some basic settings. Once you now, as you can see my camera is doing, connect to the Wi-Fi with your smartphone, you actually get that full preview where you see a live image from the camera. And you can also download and transfer files like photos and videos to and from the camera to your smartphone. Now, I'm not done with this video, guys. I do want to leave you with 3 tips on things you should change. Number 1, let's just go to photo mode. And the setting you should change on your camera potentially right off the bat is you should potentially go to 50 megapixels if you want that. I personally don't want those big of files. Like, I know how quad Bayer sensors works. It's basically the same. You actually probably get a little better low light image quality from the 12 megapixels, but that's for a different video. The ones you really want to change, especially if you're big into video, is go down here and change your bit depth and bit rate. Bit depth is set to 8-bit out of the box. I don't know what GoPro is doing. Luckily, they do put in a little switch there to apply it to all the modes, so you don't have to go to each mode to change that like you did previously. And then also change your bit rate. Again, why do they ship the camera with standard as the bit rate out of the box? I will never know, but at least they do have that, again, switch that you can turn on to set it to all the modes, so that you should only have to do that change once, and now all the modes on the camera have that better quality video. Finally, you can play around changing some of these new options or some of the old ones like denoise and sharpness. Generally though, I would just advise, especially if this is your first GoPro, just start shooting like default settings out of the box. If you start noticing, hey, whoa, the sharpness looks weird and whatnot, it's too sharp, not sharp enough, you can change that later. I'm going to quickly show you another new mode or like tuning option they added here with the new camera. And that is some like default or like preset, I don't know, basic things. You can again mess around with this. Once again, I'm just going to leave it at the default. And if I start noticing that it's not what I want, then that's when you go in and change it. Finally here, I just had to click on 8K because that's the new thing. I'm probably never going to shoot 8K except for when I'm making videos showing off the image quality of the GoPro, because that's what everyone wants to see, because those file sizes are massive, guys. I already tried shooting them and it was like 10 gigabytes for 5 minutes of video. Now, after I just walked you all through that, I do want to show you that you actually can do this all on your smartphone as well. And you might find it easier depending on how you like the menu system on the GoPro. Personally, I think it's an easier system on the GoPro than on the smartphone, but some people like it better on the smartphone, so you can do it all there. It's just a little bit different of a menu system, so it's good to familiarize yourself with both. But that is it for this video today, guys. Your GoPro should hopefully be all set up. So go out, start shooting some cool stuff, get some cool content, photos, videos, and whatnot. And if you have any questions, drop them down in my comment section below. Subscribe, like, whatnot. But that's it for today. Have a nice day. Peace out, guys. Bye.